It's definitely been a minute. Hey guys, thank you for tuning into the video. I really appreciate it. I wanted to talk to you guys today about annual fishing shows. I've started attending fishing shows 3 or 4 years ago. I go to Columbus, Ohio. I've been to Indianapolis. And most recently, I went to Schaumburg, Illinois. Going to an annual fishing show can make you a better angler. Don't go anywhere. This is going to be a good one. In my opinion, the #1 reason to go to an annual fishing show, regardless of if it's in Tennessee or Florida or Chicago or Indianapolis, is going to be to gain knowledge. Knowledge is power. The more knowledge we have, the better anglers we can become, and the more knowledge that we can pass down to other anglers or even members of our family. And that's one of the greatest gifts about fishing, is being able to pass down knowledge and share experiences and watch others grow. One of the best ways to gain some of that knowledge is to go listen to experts giving seminars at these annual fishing shows. I was blessed this year to be able to go listen to Oliver Nye, Brandon Polinick, Nick Kuzvis. There were a lot of other speakers there, but as soon as I saw Oliver Nye's name on that list, I was like, I'm there, that's it. In this first seminar, he's talking about lipless crankbaits, and that for me was a fantastic start, because I'm not a good lipless crankbait fisherman, and I really wanted to pick his brain about it. School is in session.
Lipless crankbait was a huge part of my early success. This is really the first hard bait style of lure that I grew confident in. Now I'm going to feature to you guys today a family and system of lipless crankbaits that's really taken this to a new level, and it's been a lot of fun for myself and Ms. Riley Coolidge for the past 16 months or so. And we've been able to catch fish on these lipless crankbaits all year round, from winter, early spring, into post-spawn, summer patterns, fall. They are truly one of the most versatile ways to catch a bass. And let's see what this thing does here. I'm throwing a new Vertrix Max from Nomad. Really, one of the things that we're going to focus on today is the presentation that Nomad calls vibing. And it's not your standard cast and retrieve, wind it slow, wind it medium, wind it fast. It takes it into a more technical presentation that includes a lot of vertical movement and a unique downward swim. So I'm going to do it one more time here. I'm going to always let this bait fall on a controlled slack. And I've noticed through my forward-facing sonar and watching this bait and the fish around it, like I'll find a big flat, and this is where this thing really excels, is big flats, especially with mud or sand bottoms. Fundamentally, it's a very similar presentation. It's harder to do a vertical vibing technique or retrieve, because usually when I'm throwing a floater, I don't have that much of the water column to work with. If I go to vibe it, it's just gonna pop out of the water, come flying back at me. So it really becomes like a cadence and a pace thing. How cool does that bait look? Sorry, I'm just geeking out here, using this as an excuse to play with my new toy.
You know, if Oliver Nye is showing up to a seminar, you know he's going to be talking about big baits. Oh yeah.
One of the pet peeves that I have is when I see someone that's new to fishing and they see this big bait genre and phenomenon, and they want to skip all the fundamentals, all the basics that he was showcasing these 2 seminars today. And what happens is these guys go out there without a fundamental knowledge of fishing, and it really hurts them when they try to cheat the game. They think they can go out there, buy the hardest to find, biggest glide bait or swim bait, and that alone is going to let them game genie their way to the fish of a lifetime. And I probably just aged myself talking about a game genie, because none of these guys know what that is. How many of you guys in here have spent time with the jerkbait? Hands up, keep them up. How many of those same people have spent time with the glide bait? Keep them up. Okay, quite a few. Have you guys seen correlations in those concepts in your fishing? Good, good. Well, those of you guys that haven't, do yourselves a favor before you really put in some time with these baits. Go out there and just go bust them up with a jerkbait. learn all those subtle nuances, pay attention to pace, cadence, stalling the bait, and how to present that bait in and around cover different parts of the water column. And you're gonna set yourself up with a really solid base of experience that you can draw insight from once you step into this game. I get lots of questions about how to gain confidence when you haven't actually jumped into this game. And the simplest way is to actually take that same bait and scale it down. Understand that you're gonna go from lots of engagement on a small glide bait to less engagement every time you step up in size. Don't swing on these big hard bait bites, whether they're glide baits, top water baits. You know where I learned that from? Fundamental fishing. Fishing a crankbait, fishing a jerkbait, fishing a top water. Thank you. I'm back here if you guys want to hear the same spiel at 10:30 in the morning. But appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. I'm Oliver Nye.
Oliver and I talked about so much stuff, so in depth. I'm not going to put it all on YouTube. That's not my place, right? But Oliver's got his own channel. He's got the Big Bass Dreams channel. If you guys want to know more about what he's talking about, go sub to his channel. He even has a Patreon thing where you can join. It's a membership deal. You can join and you can get access to more stuff than he puts on YouTube. But let me just tell you, man, being able to talk, being able to listen to him talk and absorb that was unbelievable. After his big bait seminar, he actually let us, he came down, he chopped it up like face to face with us. We were able to look at his gear, handle his rods and reels. It was really, really cool. Dude's a pretty cool homie. Nick Kuzvis is a mega bass guy. He's also a guide in the Great Lakes. He was giving a seminar talking about smallmouth fishing in the Great Lakes. He put out some really, really good information.
Half ounce minimum, but generally all my spare baits in my box, when I'm burning them in the summertime, it's 5/8 and 3/4. I don't mess around with anything else. I'm trying to keep that bait in the water. That heavier bait wants to sink, and when I'm burning it, it keeps that bait in the water. I'm a bright color guy when it comes to smallmouth, even if the water is super clean. So I'm using white, chartreuse white, pink. When the water's really clear and it's calm, I'll always have one or two of those shad colors. Like we have one that's called Hasu or Wakasagi. It's very natural. It's like not a white, but almost like a pearl white with like a little bit of blue, and it looks very shady. I've had good success on that, but I always say to guys, you got two guys on the boat, never throw the same color. One guy throw a white, one guy throw a blue or something different, chuck around, and as soon as one guy starts getting one, you get on top of what the color that they want, and sometimes they can be very specific, then you're on it. If you're both throwing the same color in whatever you're doing, it makes it hard. Same thing with a jerkbait. You got two guys in a boat, and you're fishing in like 7-8 feet of water. One guy throw a 110, one guy throw a +1. The reason why I do that is, again, where are these fish sitting in the water column? Are they up? Are they on the bottom? If they're on the bottom and they're not really eager to come up too high, then that +1's going to get you more bites. If they're sitting in that middle part or higher part of the column and you throw a +1, you're just getting down below them and they won't go down to eat it. So it's good to change it up. I'm always switching things, trying to figure out what they're doing. I always put a trailer hook on a spinnerbait when I'm fishing open water. I'm not worried about getting hung up in weeds and stuff. Even if I'm fishing weeds, I'm fishing on top of them. I'm not fishing through them. So weeds, when we talk about cover, smallmouth love weeds. They love weeds, rocks, they love weeds on edges. But they sit in them a little bit differently than, say, a largemouth does. A largemouth bass will swim around the edge or get right into the weed. And then you're pitching jigs, you're pitching worms. When they're aggressive, they'll be on the outside, you'll catch them on crankbaits. But smallmouth, they're like a wolf pack, man. They cover areas together. On the Great Lakes, I've seen them come in like groups of 3s and 5s and 10s, and they just come in, they eat, and they take off. That's why I tell guys, I got this spot. I found it, and it's unbelievable. I found it yesterday, we gotta go. And then we go there, nothing. You go there another 20 times, nothing. You just got lucky that day they moved into the area. You're fishing something right. Some areas will have fish more often than others, but weeds are big, but they'll sit on the outside. And with this bait, I love to get on that deep edge where the weeds end off and it drops off, and I sit on that outside edge and I wing that spinnerbait over top of the weeds, and I'll burn it right over top of the weeds. Burn it, burn it, burn it. As soon as it gets to the edge, that fish already hears it coming and they come up and boom. But you're rarely going to get a fish coming out of the weeds to eat it unless it's very sparse. Those heavier edges, it's the edge that they'll roam around. When they're aggressive, they sit up high. When they're not, they're down low.
I could listen to them smallmouth guys talk for hours and hours and hours. Being able to go there and listen to seminars about swim baits and seminars about largemouth and seminars about smallmouth, it just covers the whole gambit for me. There's no doubt in my mind that going to these fishing expos and listening to these pros talk at these seminars is going to improve your knowledge and in turn make you a better bass angler. Who doesn't want to do that? Guys, we've got a few more videos coming out about the Schaumburg Fishing Show. Let me know what you think about this video down below in the comments. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks.